And it's a lot about that TV show, man, that got people confused. Because I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on like a weekend. They'll say, hey, we shooting today. We need y'all at the house. They'll come get me from my grandma's house. And right after we done, when the cameras go off, I'm right back to my grandma's house.
This has been going on for a long time. T.I.'s been publicly in the situation with his son for a while. So I don't think that necessarily the brute force was the initial tactic.
True.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm trying to be, again, open, have conversations as dialogue as men, and that don't work, then we gotta...
T.I. and Tiny slams King Harris's baby mama. After trapping King Harris girl, let me spill the tea. King Harris's baby isn't even here yet, but drama's already brewing in the streets. The baby mama? Sis is stirring the pot, asking for coins from T.I. and Disney. Yes, you heard that right. Whispers are flying that she might have had this baby just to secure the bag. But hold up, T.I. himself already said he is going to be raising that child.
I told him I'm gonna make this the greatest gangster of all times. I will raise this child to torture you the way that you tortured me. I promise you, there will be an indictment in this young one.
King's wild behavior isn't exactly dad material, and with all the chaos surrounding him, it's no surprise. What's your take? Could this baby mama be even more drama? King Harris's baby ain't even here yet, but honey, the streets are already buzzing about the baby mama stirring up all kinds of drama. Can you believe sis is already out here asking for coins from T.I. and Disney? Like, what? People have been talking and the whispers are loud. Folks saying she only got knocked up by King to secure them checks. But hold up, no need to stress about no child support, cause didn't T.I. already make it clear he's gonna be the one raising that baby? Y'all probably caught the tea by now that King's wild self got a baby on the way, and this alleged baby mama popped up online, belly out, showing it all off according to what fans have been saying. Baby, let me just say the folks in the comments are already clocking this baby mama as a whole problem from jump. People are saying she's looking like she's pushing her late 20s, and by getting pregnant with King, who's barely 20, she knew exactly what she was doing. Sis is giving off serious, see you in court for every dime energy, if you know what I mean. Besides this messy post, there ain't a whole lot out there yet, cause this news just broke, but word is, she's already out here with her hand out. Like, girl, can you slow down? Anyway, the real gag came when T.I. himself spilled the baby tea on Hot 107.9 during an interview with Young Dro. He casually dropped that he's got 2 granddaughters and a grandson on the way. He was talking about his son Damani getting used to fatherhood, but then threw in that King is next up, adding to the Harris family tree.
So I got 2 grandchildren now.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah, I got 2 granddaughters. I got a grandson on the way.
Wow.
King's about to have a son.
King's about to have a son. Congrats.
Yeah.
And you know, T.I. couldn't resist some shade. He straight up said he's gonna make King's son the greatest gangster of all time, raising him to give King the same drama King gave him growing up. The pettiness. Honey, did you peep how T.I. straight up said he was gonna be the one raising his grandson? It's like he already knows King ain't about to be nobody's responsible daddy. And honestly, can we blame him? This is the King we're talking about. The same King who stays on our feeds for all the wrong reasons. I mean, who could forget when he posted that wild video of himself challenging a homeless man to do the viral hot chip challenge for $50? And if that wasn't bad enough, he even told the poor man he couldn't drink water for 5 minutes after. Like, really? This is who we expect to be on daddy duty? T.I. knows what's up, and that's why he's already stepping in. And girl, what's even messier is that this whole chip stunt went down just days after reports came out about a teen dying from eating that Pakwi chip, which had everybody side-eyeing the company. So, when King dropped that video, baby, social media went in on him, calling him out for being straight-up cruel to a homeless man. But instead of owning up to it or even issuing a simple apology, King did what he does best. He hopped on Instagram with an indirect response. And dear, the caption? You already know he was in some reckless mess. He wrote, "Out of all the times the internet tried to tear me down, I held my spot down, headed up through it all, and came out smiling on top boy. Say what now? On top of all that, King Harris has been dragged for trying to play up this gangster lifestyle, even though he's got 2 rich and successful parents who've given him everything he could ever want. Like, what were you out here frontin' for when you grew up in luxury? And because of this, King's been in his fair share of public beefs. Remember that spat with Julio? Julio called him out for pretending to be about that thug life when, let's be real, King was raised in nothing but privilege. And instead of letting it slide, King clapped back, talking about, let's settle it in the boxing ring. But sadly, Julio didn't even live long enough to see that match happen.
Hey, I really don't do too much talking. Julio, get your bitch in the boxing ring. You wanna speak on me? Hey, I hear a lot of Got so much to say when a nigga go viral, but when I tell a nigga get in a boxing ring, everybody wanna be quiet. Come on, bro, I ain't really gonna lie. I'm on some Mike Tyson shit. Hey, I just been mad lately. I'm ready to get angry. I've been angry, and I'm waiting on one of these ass young ass rappers to fix their mouth to get in that boxing ring.
Such a mess. He wrote, "Out of all the times the internet tried to tear me down, I held my spot down, headed up through it all, and came out smiling on top. Boy, say what now? On top of all that, King Harris has been dragged for trying to play up this gangster lifestyle, even though he's got two rich and successful parents who've given him everything he could ever want. Like, what were you out here frontin' for when you grew up in luxury? And because of this, King's been in his fair share of public beefs. Remember that spat with Julio? Julio called him out for pretending to be about that thug life when, let's be real, King was raised in nothing but privilege. And instead of letting it slide, King clapped back, talking about, let's settle it in the boxing ring. But sadly, Julio didn't even live long enough to see that match happen. Such a mess. And let's not forget, this is the same dude who got arrested. Charges still unknown, but we do know one of them was for not wearing a seatbelt while driving. Just wild. And before that, oh baby, he got arrested for threatening a Waffle House employee because they messed up his order.
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. File show. What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. And I'll show you what I do. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. Come here.
Yes, you heard me. Pickles. King ordered no pickles, but when he got them anyway, he lost it. Instead of just fixing his order like a normal person, he hopped on Instagram Live and started wilding out, getting more and more heated by the minute. In the video, he's cussing out the employees and throwing all kinds of threats. And as he finally made his dramatic exit, he had the nerve to say he was gonna pickle one of the workers.
You still talking inside though? Why you inside? Can't stop me from doing. Let me get my food. Thank you. Just talking like they like that, they ain't like that. Before I get back here and pistol with them. Wait till I get back and see him out here late night. Wait till I slap a alright, yeah. Yeah, wait. Wait till I come back in the market late night. And then it's just you and I. Yeah.
Like, what does that even mean? Over pickles? Oh, and chili. Let's not overlook how King has straight up disrespected his parents in public, even getting into a physical altercation with his dad. So here's the tea. T.I. took the whole family to an Atlanta Falcons game, and it was a whole scene. T.I. even made a big appearance in front of a packed Mercedes-Benz stadium to hype up the crowd as he brought the Falcons out of the locker room. But then, during a live stream King started, things popped off. They got into it over whether King really grew up privileged or not, and it got heated. King was all in denial, saying he ain't grow up behind no gates, and instead claimed he spent most of his time at his grandma's house, living a rougher lifestyle. He's been real vocal about this too, like when he was chopping it up with Funny Marco on the Open Thoughts podcast, talking about how that big fancy house y'all saw on TV. Yeah, he said that wasn't even his reality. He said he was mostly at his grandma's place, which he made sound like it was way more hood than people think. But baby, arguing with your daddy at a game in front of everybody? A mess. Instead, King claimed he lived in a whole different house with his grandma, not that fancy mansion from TV. He said they'd just pick him up from her place whenever they needed him on set. So while people thought he was living large, he was really just at Granny's, in a much more real situation. It's giving two worlds, but who's really buying that? He said, "It's a lot about that TV show that got people confused because I lived with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on the weekend. They'll say, hey, we're shooting today and we need y'all at the house. They'll come and get me from my grandma house, and right after we're done, when the cameras go off, I'm right back at my grandma house." Anyway, King's comments during that argument didn't sit well with his mom, Tiny, either. She jumped in to say he definitely grew up with a silver spoon. Later in the IG Live, Tiny tried to snatch King's phone as he kept filming and getting more and more heated. Then T.I. rolled up, grabbed his son and yelled at him for embarrassing himself and the whole family. Things got so intense that King and his dad ended up in a brief physical tussle. Baby, with King acting like this and saying what he said, one commenter was like, if he wants to be hood and not living a silver spoon life, Give up daddy's money and mommy's money and go be in the hood broke and living like that to get your credit. We guess, punk kid, he's lying to get a hood pass from folks stupid. As if that wasn't enough, King Harris jumped back on Instagram with a series of now deleted stories talking about how he doesn't care who T.I. is and that he's not gonna let him play him like a fool because he's a grown man. He even threw shade at T.I., asking if he thought having him was a mistake. Like, wow, calling out your own parents is a whole different level of wild, especially when T.I. and Tiny have always been the ones funding his life. T.I. has had to check his son a few times too. Remember that one IG video where he said he knows his son and had talked to him, his baby mama, and his grandma? He warned King that if he didn't get his act together, he was headed straight for jail. I also said King is still immature and that life will teach him lessons, hoping he gets wiser as he goes. Whew, the drama. In another interview with Shannon Sharp, T.I. addressed the negative criticism and backlash surrounding his son's behavior. He emphasized that he maintains excellent communication with all his kids and strives to listen just as much as he speaks. When it comes to King specifically, T.I. pointed out that as much as King seeks a clean slate, he needs to realize he can never truly have that because of his privileged background. Now, just when I thought that with a child on the way, King might finally shed those childish antics and leave behind his gangster persona, he went and dropped a post on Instagram that sent alarm bells ringing for his fans, and even his grandma. King shared a photo on his story showing him with a red ring around his right eye, and the caption was, "Still got my chain, PS, you should see them." It looks like King was in a fight, but he hasn't said a word about who he clashed with or if it even happened. There's no video evidence or any mentions of this alleged fight online. Now, let's not forget this post came after another one that made his grandma step in. King had shared a video of himself rapping while driving and smoking in the car, and Diane commented, "Stop smoking so much, son. Child, this is the person we expect to raise a kid? T.I. better be the one doing the heavy lifting like he said he would. And with all these rumors about the baby mama already stirring up trouble, he better secure full custody." But what do y'all think? Does that baby mama look like she's gonna be a handful? And considering she allegedly got pregnant for the cash, do you really think she'll let T.I. raise her child? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.